Howdys and salutations, y'all. Sorry about the late start there. Spend some time with family, and you don't ever want to interrupt that. Uh, let's see, where we left off. Right, yes, what we want to do today, a little bit of recapping, and then once we get that going, I think we'll jump into some more refinement. So let me actually open a recent one. Let's see if we can't pick up where we left off. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. Okay. So this looks like a whole lot of nonsense, and to be fair, big chunk of it is. However, let's see. Forgot about this guy. He's just sort of there. He's chilling. He's fine. We didn't necessarily invite him to the party, but he's, he's welcome. Anyway, what we did last time, bit of a review, and I'll definitely have to update the stream description, is we had done some gastrophobia studies and pepsiophobia studies. Wonderful, cute little comic. Not little, really. It's a pretty big comic, but it's fun. Just, again, a style study. Y'all know how I like to do those. Do a little bit of a study, get the hang of, like, see what makes the art tick. And you may not fully understand it. You're not going to grasp another artist's, whole deal immediately, of course. But you can sort of get an idea and see maybe, at the very least, the techniques of how something's done, and then maybe even some of the logic behind it. And so we did some style studies of gastrophobia and learned not only that it is actually a very fun style to draw, and seriously, go check out the comic. Pepsiophobia is adorable. And it's a fun style to try to mimic. Very expressive. However, apologies for the ums. Like I said, I'm just getting in here, so my brain is not really warmed up for speaking. So please just bear with me for a few more moments, and we'll get that going. However, yes. Yeah. I say however, as though that's my thoughts settling and not just me buying time for my thoughts to settle. Letting them thoughts settle. Find a seats in the theater. One of them decided they want popcorn at the last second. They're going back. Come on, thoughts. Supposed to be thinking. Don't go back for an extra large. That's gonna take them so. Well, while we wait for that thought to get back, how are y'all doing? Hope things are good where you are. Just a recap of the recap. I'm not even going to say the word recap. This is still Sif Streams. It is still storming outside. Actually, quite lovely weather. I love a good rainstorm. And we are still here to learn how to draw. This isn't a master class from an expert. This is so you can see the process of learning. Because I think those master classes are great. You should absolutely go check them out. Do all of the actual studying, the advice. Proco is excellent. Love Life Drawing is excellent. There's many good ones. However, I think it's also worth seeing the actual process, because when you see masters, the experts, you can learn a ton from them, and you should. But it's hard oftentimes to connect from where you are currently to how you get to that point. And that's why I think it's worth having a stream where we're learning. Like, you can even look from the earlier streams, we're getting better as we go. And ideally, you'll do that your whole art career, or hobby, or however long you do it. But given that I'm quite amateur with digital art, and I'd say we've come a long way from even the very first streams, I think it's worth documenting and seeing. Maybe we'll have to put like a master cut together at some point, rather than having everyone try to search through, months and months of multi-hour streams. But that's the general gist of it. Follow along. I'm sure you'll be able to teach me plenty of things. I'll hopefully be able to teach you a few things. And at the very least, we'll see that it's possible. No matter where you're starting at, no matter how good or bad you begin, you can improve. I mean, theoretically, you can also get worse, but really the only way to do that is to, intentionally not practice at all for a period of time. It's like muscles. I guess you can over-injure it, if you, give yourself carpal tunnel or something. I don't actually know if you can give yourself carpal tunnel, or if that's just, a thing that can happen, and there's other things like wrist strain. I feel like I read about that somewhere, but saying I feel like I read about that somewhere is, I mean, the internet has so much random nonsense fake stuff on it that who stinking knows if what I read was real or not. So I don't know, I'll have to research carpal tunnel properly. But the point is, other than completely overworking yourself or completely doing nothing, the far extremes, the odds are you're going to keep getting better. So I hope that you'll enjoy the journey along with. I hope that we can keep on going, and that brings us back around to the actual place we ought to be. Because we've been looking at my old style. Let's see. Not that one. Not that one. That's thumbnail fodder. I had it open in another, even older one that I'm not gonna be able to find. But y'all have probably seen the style I drew Salt in. Maybe we can open a recent one. The drawing faces practice. Yeah, okay, here's one example of that style. It's a fun style, don't get me wrong, and I'm definitely gonna keep it for like some characters. But after the studies from Pepsiophobia, I think we've learned the distinct weak point of this style and where we need to tweak. And A, part of that was variation. A lot of them ended up looking the same. But B, that's because the most distinctive feature on this face, besides potentially the eyes, but really, I think it might even outweigh those, which is an interesting potential issue in its own right, is the fact that the nose, cheek, and chin are all one shape. No matter who I'm drawing, they're all one shape. And that works well in 3/4 view because those tend to blur together in 3/4 view in a way that is interesting. It does not, however, work on head-on view, where the nose is in the middle of the face, the cheeks are way over here, the chin's down below. Like maybe you can combine cheek and chin. In fact, a lot of good styles do. Owl House. Anyway, but you really can't work the nose into that very easily. And it's certainly hard to imagine what this shape looks like from a front view. So that's something that we want to work on. Also, again, a lot of the characters ended up looking very similar in this style. And so we wanted to make sure we got some variants. So what we're testing in this new world is actually getting some variants. Trying different nose shapes, something more angular, something like sharper or different. And you know, they're not all gonna be winners. This one's stinking wild. This one's, I think, wholly unrelated to anything. It's just a cute, cartoony dude. I don't really know where he came from in my brain, but he exists now. Like I said, he was kind of a party crasher, but we're happy to have him. But the other ones are actually like trying to build on this idea of, okay, let's get some variants in the style. And that's what I want to continue on. Of course, it's been a week and I didn't have a chance to really warm up. It's not been a week, it's been 3 days. 4 days. It was Thursday. Today's a Monday, that was Thursday. However many days that is, been that many days. But it's been a nice, we're near Halloween, been a busy couple days. Yeesh, the lightning is going wild out there. It's nice as long as you're inside, but it's rough out there. Hope everyone is safe and sound. Here's hoping anyway. Did my stream flag my own moderator bot? Neither here nor there. So what we want to do is I want to continue on some of these. First off, I'm just going to do some warm-up. We're going to try to do just a few more complete abstract ones, because the fun thing about this style is it actually does kind of work if you just start from abstract shapes. Then I do want to do a few more of real faces and maybe some Elden Ring characters. We'll see what we go for there. But yeah, I think the main thing is I think we've got an idea, something we can work with. Like this, obviously they're still connected, so a front view is still going to be difficult. We're going to want to figure out how to do that. But it at least gives us more variance in these silhouette side views, and I think that counts for something for sure. And it's, you know, it's a step forward. It'll get us some more interesting characters in our world rather than everyone looking kind of similar-ish. So, okay. Let's pop that back where it was. Thank you. Leave these alone. Probably won't save whatever we do on them. Let's, what color palette? I think that we are still, yeah, okay, let's keep up with, Golden Sunset? Yeah. Golden Sunset is a wonderful color palette. Great fun. From Lospec. I don't have the exact artist name. I ought to dig that out. You know, I am going to dig that out. I ain't going to leave someone uncredited. Oh, jeepers. I don't know why my computer has decided to start doing this, where anytime there's like a selector on a list, it just scrolls up infinitely. It's like it's got some busted mouse input that isn't busted on anything other than menus. It's horrible. Cool, at least I can mouse click on it, but it looks like it's thinking like Vegas casino lights or something where they're just like going up, running in a line, and it's very distracting. And means I can't use arrow keys to navigate, which I don't like. Because I like using arrow keys to navigate, you know? Okay, actually, you know, I might as well do this one on screen. This is Lospec. This is a wonderful site if you need color palettes. It's a great resource. Let's go to the palette list. Let's look up Sunset. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of sunsets. Okay, what was this exact one? Golden sunset. Golden. Golden. I think Golden Haze is also interesting. Golden Sunset by Polyphrog. I don't know anything about Polyphrog. This ain't an endorsement. I don't know squat about them, but it's a good color palette. They've got some other interesting ones too. So yeah, check this place out. It's great. I'm actually curious now. What was that other golden one? Golden Haze? Is that gonna be any good? I wish there was kind of a reference one. Anyway, let's not worry about the drama in the comment section. I have no idea what's going on there. We'll leave that alone. But Golden Sunset by Polyphrog, good palette. Highly enjoy it. Used it for at least one of the Sword Timber ones too. I think the honey one, if nothing else. It's fun. So let's start just some random brain warm-ups. I gotta get back in the swing of things. That's not how you draw a circle, but it is a horrifying face shape. Yeah. Ew. Don't like this. Definitely don't like that. How far do the teeth extend on the top? This gets worse the further I go. Okay. Don't like. Goodbye shape. I mean, it could be a cute little snake, just like a. Anyway, let's start with something simple. Let's start with the one that I always do, but at least let's do it different. We can get kind of a nose. Okay, this isn't the one I always do. Let's work with this. Already getting interesting vibes. Yeah, just disconnecting like the chin and cheek bit here is already giving me way more to work with. It's not the end all be all solution to our problems. It's definitely not going to solve the okay, this one's so pitchy, I'm sorry. I know I don't always skip it, but man, sometimes it's distracting. It's not going to solve the fact that front views still look awkward. We're going to have to figure out a better solution for that. But it at least is going to get us some better variance in our characters. Let's go for a sleepy witch. Means I kind of want the underside to be the more dominant line here. I don't know why this is giving me witch vibes, it just kind of is, and I like it. But like, not a mean one, necessarily. That's not what that line was supposed to be, but it actually does kind of line up okay. Let's see, what kind of hair? I need more hair vocabulary. I need to actually look up references of hair and like outfits, so we've got more variety going on with those. Guess we can make like a slightly softer like chin line too. Okay, that might fit with age. It's a neckline, not a chin line. Let's see. There's so many wonderful kinds of witch hats. Which witch hat should you have? Real wild, he thinks. That's maybe too wild. I always bite off more than I should with these things. Yeah, that's getting a little crazy. I think I'm going to tone this back a hair. Just a hair, though. Too much detail in one spot doesn't really work, but yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway. We caught her in a day when she's got curlers in or something. Or this is really just how her hair looks. Hard to say. I doubt she'll tell us. Oh, there we go. Got it with the eraser finally. Sure, there's an ear in here somewhere. That's not the direction the ear would typically go, so... Yeah, I assume it's just getting hair obscured. Yeah, I'm not sure so much about this hairstyle, gonna be honest. But it's an interesting character, even so. Now, you know what? She deserves better hair and hat than this. Let's give these another go. I realize this isn't how you should do a warm-up, but I'm trying to also warm up my creative thinking a little bit, which means I need to get my brain juices a-flowing. They ain't flowing so good right now. Let's see if we can't find a better hairstyle. I mean, you could always go for just the super long witch locks. Man. Yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of, like, let's just have the hat here, or the hair here, rather. And then we'll just have, like, a little tiny witch's hat, like, bobby pinned on. There we go. Some of this should probably, whoops, okay, I got the eraser a little too big with that. Let's tone it down just a notch. I kind of like that line, actually. Okay, this hair needs some volume now, really. We can give her something better than this. There we go. Oh, maybe kind of got like a scarfy thing going on here. And the actual collar just kind of cutting into it. Looking like a t-shirt. Everything I draw ends up looking like a t-shirt. And don't get me wrong, I like me a good t-shirt, but like, not really what I'm looking for. Hey. Getting vibes of a certain Pokemon from this now, and that's not my goal, but it's what's happening, so, you know? I'm just gonna maybe leave this one at that. But the point is, already much better face variety, even if this has ended up being a little silly. Warm up doodles, shall we just call it that. On the flip side, let's try something really big and blocky. Okay, that last one might be a little much. Well, maybe not if we got like such a neutral expression. Oh, now it feels pretentious. And also rocky. This is someone who needs a big eyebrow. This one's almost in like proper silhouette view. Like we're only gonna see just like a hair of what's going on the other side. Whether they're like at this point, I don't think this couldn't be a human character unless we're getting real abstract with our character designs, which I'm not opposed to particularly. I don't want. He's turning into a dinosaur. Okay, no spiky hair. Let's think of a more traditional hairstyle that we can give him. Basic and reliable. Nope. This is turning into like a fish monster. Which, again, is at least still more interesting than what we were getting before. Which, as much as I love Salt as a character, everyone looked like Salt. Just a bunch of Salt clones. Could have filled a whole shaker with them, and like, that's not helpful. Ah, there we go. We give him sideburn. No, not sideburn, but we definitely give him this thing. That haircut that people seem to have. I don't know why this guy's definitely seems like he's speaking in front of a crowd, but I feel like he should be like slightly more business casual. Don't know why I'm getting that vibe. I just am. And again, we're really getting kind of like a side view of this guy. We're not going to see too much going on here. We're connected with that, but that's fine. Wait, hold on. Which side are the buttons on? I know it varies person to person for, like, or by gender or something for reasons that are super archaic. We're technically designed for user friendliness because it's always on the right side of the. If stereotypically outfits designed for men have the buttons on the right, and for women have it on the left, because it was assumed that was whoever was doing the buttons would be right-handed, which is already not a completely reliable assumption, but it is, to be fair, a majority. But it was also assumed that like maids would dress the women. I think that's what the logic behind it was. It's a little outdated these days, just by centuries, but we still do it for some reason. That means buttons on the right hand relative to the user for this guy. I think he's a guy. Not really that important to his character to the extent that it matters at all. I definitely should not attempt to illustrate a buttonhole because they're not that important. But okay, we'll go with this for now. We'll give him like a shoulder. There we go. That's like the pleat. That's the back of dress shirts. Anyway, these are some wild characters. This guy feels to me like he would have be like up on a soapbox giving a speech in like the 20s. And I don't know why, and I don't know what he'd be speaking for, but he just gives me that vibe. Anyway, that's, we've done some silly little warm-up ones now. Let's see if we can't. There we go. The stinking scrolly thing threw me off again. Let's see if we can't actually, draw some real people. So I'm going to try to get Sketch Daily going up in here again. Highly recommend that one. But again, just a warning, make sure you filter it to your comfort level. We're not timing this. Because timing is good for gesture drawings, which, don't get me wrong, are something I should do in this style and in general more often. In addition to helping you pick up speed and refinement, they're also just really good for capturing like the motion and the feel of something quickly rather than trying to replicate details and ending up with stuff too stiff. However, right now we're trying to study a specific style and try to figure out how to recreate these, and so while we're in this sort of developing the style phase, as opposed to the practicing and refining the style, I'm going to try to stick a little bit more to like untimed things while I figure out some of the particularly janky parts of actually drawing like this. And then we can go in and actually, see if we can get a little faster, a little better, a little more natural with it. Let's take one of these off. And then let me, A, put my reference somewhere usable for me, and B, let's kick this up so that y'all can see it. Hey, why is it like this? Why so big? Why so warped? Why so warped? Okay. Crikey, that was weird. Still why so big, though? I'm gonna throw this up here because that doesn't really interfere with, like, y'all being able to see what I do, and I think you can still make out the face okay at that size. Let me know if you can't, and we can adjust that. Let's see. Okay. So now that we've done some of these funky ones, we'll get a fresh start and see if we can actually draw a person. There we go. And I'm opening the ref a little bigger for me because I gotta actually copy the thing. But again, if I need to make it bigger, let me know. I just realized I'd left that super big from some other drawing thing. I forget why I needed it so wide. There was some tool list that had way too many things in it. May have been building the color palettes at the top. Those default to having like 50 things in them, or 100, or a bunch, somewhere between those two numbers, I think. Too many, frankly. So let's see, untimed. And as we remember from earlier this month of style refinement, other things that we learned were trying to emphasize notable details first, which is something we absolutely want to do with this style. And again, like, we're also trying to do the actual style thing, so we'll see. This is not super 3/4 of a view. I'll try to replicate that. again, we're just experimenting. I don't know if that's going to go great or hot garbage. Let's see. So with it, again, with a normal, if I was constructing a face for this, I would start with like a circle and build this out, kind of bring like the points down a little bit. I got like a half circle sort of stuck on that side, bring this one down. I'd put a lot more thought into this if this was what I was actually doing. We've got like an eye, nose, mouth. Trim off some of the excess, throw some hair on there. Boom. Oh, and an ear. And like it's a face. Yahoo! But that's, again, this style's a little different. Just gonna take this guy and like shrink him down and shove him over here somewhere. Because this one I tend to try to start with the initial like nose-ish shape. Now that's gonna be interesting because what we have to decide here is when we're caricaturing someone, for lack of a better word, do we want to also, holy cow, the music seems like it's really loud. I'm gonna turn it down just a hair. Let me know if it's, sorry, I just saw that. I hope anyone's been able to hear me at all. That'd be a little awkward. But yeah, let's do this. Let's, we gotta decide if we want to base this, because it is still sort of fulfilling the role of cheek and nose. So do we want to base it on the cheek, which is kind of an outward curve like that, or really more of a like downward curve like that? Or do we want to base it on the nose, which in this case kind of does something like this? And like these are, even like abstracting them, two very different shapes. And I don't want to do both, because like, yeah, we can get a face, but it's not really going to be in the style, even if we end up adding the hair to make it somewhat recognizable. And I do think that the glasses and the hair bob are probably the most like pointed shapes on this, although the nose is interesting. Let's just put this guy away for now. Intriguing, not necessarily helpful. Looked friendly though. Maybe that drawing will stop by again sometime. We'll see. But in the meantime, while we wait, let's see if we can actually do this. I'm going to start first. You know, we're learning. Let's do both. But let's start with the cheek one first. So with that in mind, I'm going to do like a gentle curve here. And then nothing crazy for the mouth, really. I don't think anything wild. Nope. It's kind of a wider, soft chin. We'll do that. We'll see how this goes. And I'm so bad. Adding a little shadow to the edge of the mouth helps a lot. But, like, I'm so bad at doing it in a way that looks not terrible. So we'll just leave it at that. Glasses are, of course, a distinct part of the face, but they're below. So I want to actually, I'm going to bring this down a bit so that we can have the lenses, like, sit lower. Reminds me of another drawing I did a long time ago. Unfortunately, that drawing is not really what we're going for on this, so we'll just sort of see where we end up. What I'm doing with these 3 points for the record, and I don't know if this is good advice or not, a lot of the times when you're trying to draw weird ellipse-like shapes, if you look at them, you'll realize that there's sort of like some points where it, for lack of a better word, comes to a point, and other points where it doesn't. And so I try to mark where the points are and see if that helps. It helps a little bit. I'm sure there's a better way. But like, you know, like when you have an oval, like a good oval, like this is clearly a point and there's clearly one over here compared to like the long soft stretch there. So I might try to do like a line and a line and then oval it around. But as you can see, it's, you know, far from perfect. Having 3 wouldn't get you a circle, it'd get you like a rounded triangle. Again, I don't know if that's a useful tip or not. It's something I've done though, and I find it to be occasionally helpful. Well, it's bad at eyeballing where the points are. But it's, you know, I'm going to be trial and erroring it anyway. I might as well trial and error with a little bit of thought going into it, you know? We can really lean into the glasses part because the actual eyes are going to be up here. I do think I'm still liking simplified eyes. We'll see if we end up going with the bigger eyes for this one, because I'm feeling like we're getting like a librarian vibe from this that we don't want to get. Not that I dislike librarians, but this is not a librarian pose or anything like that. Looks like she's, well, green screened into a beach or something. I don't singing know. Kind of a bizarre. The more I look at it, that's kind of a weird reference picture. Um, not a bad one, mind, but unusual. Wait, okay. Trying to match curves is so hard. Again, we've got like a little more 3/4-y, so I'm even going to bring the face edge like further over than I usually do. Let's see. This looks skeptical. I enjoy that eyebrow pose, but it's not the right one. Let's see. This style, I still do like the longer neck, even if it's not always suitable. But it's fun, darn it. I want to keep it if I can. I don't know, outfit kind of curves up though. And outfit presumably curves down a bit, but there's hair, so who knows. And again, proper, like, anatomically correct drawing and all that, we'd be figuring out the head proportions and all that jazz. However, we're trying to stylize right now, so I'm trying to figure out the style more than the 100% correctness. Sorry, this song's nice too, but it's a little pitchy for today. It might just be because I'm a little tired, although a heck of a lot less tired than last week for anyone who caught that stream. Holy cow, I was out of it. But that's the way of things. Hey, Dado! How are you? Sorry, I hope it didn't keep you waiting too long. I kind of got in the zone there for a minute. Oh, yeah, nope, that is a reference image. I guess it is kind of a... Let me make it clear that that's not a face cam. Oops, there we go. Okay, good. I hope it didn't want to keep you waiting too long. How are things going? Also, is the music deafening for y'all? Because it is really loud for me, and I don't know why. I don't think I've changed settings much. Oh, yeah, well, they always gotta have a cliffhanger so you come get the next one, but it does make them exciting, though. Okay, yeah, if music's loud, I'm gonna snoop that down a little bit. Maybe not quite so much. Okay. Oh no! Well, you've got a doozy of a cliffhanger there for you then. Final cliffhanger, really. A little, come on, curve more in. Come on, line, work with me. Ooh. That'll do. Actually, maybe it was right. Maybe the line was right. Yeah, I know. Like, when you're getting towards the end, it's always hard, because you're like, on the one hand, I'm excited to see everything kind of wrap up. On the other hand, I don't want it to stop. We'll start with, like, really wild there. We'll lean into that. We'll sort of... I don't know what the here's... what's happening here. If I go on autopilot too long, I get chaos. But yeah, it's always bittersweet getting to the end of a show, or a book, or a manga, or anything, really. Like, oh, man. I at least hope it ends well. And it's not one of those bittersweet that just turns into bitter. Because, man, some shows manage that. see. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Oh, one of them collectors. Yeah, the last ones I guess are a little more popular. I guess it's not that hard. It's easier to get just like a random book in the middle of the series. Maybe that's how I ought to do stuff. I ought to just always pick up with like volume 7. See where that gets you. Let's try this now with the nose shape defining the edge of the face. If we get something a little different. And not just because I'm like a little bit more in tune now. I won't spoil anything or say anything, of course, but what you reading? If and you don't mind me asking, of course. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I know too much about that one, so I wouldn't be able to spoil even if I tried. I could make up random spoilers based on nothing. The cat does indeed make it to the moon by the end. I know it was really touch and go there for a while, but it's a heartwarming scene. Oh yeah. I don't know, sometimes the really just confusing, ridiculous series are the most fun ones. Or the confusing, serious ones too, to be fair. Yep. Okay, let's try the taller pupil style. Who even needs eyebrows when you can just make people's eyes whatever shape you want? I think that's probably bad art advice. Let's see, I'm just gonna keep it on with this bit. Where's it gonna take us? I sure as heck don't know. We can at least sort of get a leaning in pose with this. Just don't look like arms. Should not pretend they look like arms. Well, it sounds like it'll be a fun one, though, to even see how it ends, Dado. That'll be good. Yeah, we'll fix that later. That's not the important part. And as we remember from the last studying, always focus on the important details first. Why do I always neglect that bit of advice? Really stinking useful advice. Oh, it's one of those where even once it's done, you're gonna be like, I have no idea what happened. It's like anyone playing Dark Souls. It's like you finish the game and then you're like, okay, let's look up the VatiVidya tutorial to figure out what on earth just happened, because I don't know. Did I save the universe? Did I destroy everything? Uh. This does look like a giant nose. It's an interesting contrast, I'll grant that, showing how much changing a little bit does. There's elements of each that are better or worse. This style is still a kind of an awkward one for rendering real people. Yeah, you're like, okay, I think I understood one of the parts of this equation. Question is, can I understand anything else that happens? I guess the real question is, once you know what happened, looking back at it, will it make sense, or will there still just be like, no, that's just crazy? Because sometimes it's fun, like, once you realize what's going on, you can, like, look back and see, oh, foreshadowing. Oh, that was clever. Other times, you're just like, oh, huh? Sure, I guess. Okay, so we've done a few with that one. Let's find a different pose. Oh, time travel always gets so out of hand so fast. And, like, no two universes ever have it work the same way. Like, in one universe, you're creating parallel timelines, and another one, you're going back and changing the current timeline, and another one, it can't even figure it out, and so sometimes it does one or the other. And you're just sort of like, well, okay. This is kind of a front view. That's going to be hard. I'm going to try to stick to side and 3/4 for now. Child's face, weird proportions. Sure, why not? This will be an interesting one. I don't know if it's the appearance or if it's just like the expression, but I'm getting a Vin Diesel vibe from this guy. Also, wow, it's super squished, and let's fix that. I don't know why it's not mapping to proportions anymore. Scale the window. Yeah, like a little bit. Like not like a doppelganger, but I can see it. Got a real smolder going on. Always a funny expression. Okay, let's see. I know we're playing fast and loose with the lines, but let's not play that fast and loose with the lines. He's got a very, like, angular, slightly bumped out nose. I want to kind of work with that. And his face feels a little more wide than tall, so let's go for kind of a wide nose. That'll do. Nope, don't like that. Maybe we can even get the angle with this one. That'd be different. That's not something we usually manage with this style. No, it's not that big. We'll see how well this style goes. I think there's obviously still going to be room for tweaking. This guy feels like we need to... his eyes need to be bigger than that. They've got to be, like, proper enclosed by lids on both sides. Like, not all expressions need that, but this one definitely feels like it. Got the wide eye going there. I'm playing a little fast and loose with these ones because it's fun. Let's see. like that. We can work on this piece next. We'll go. It's still like a slimmer neck style, but like we'll go with a wider one. Let's see. This is like, whoops, a little too long. Not like not need to go away, but like trim it down a little. Okay, yeah, that still works. Let's see. Oh, hey, yeah. And one of these days, I've tried to learn musical instruments before and I've never gotten close on them. It's cool that you can play guitar. Gotta get the important folds of this. Ba-doop. We'll just let this keep going. Ah, yeah, always got to keep practicing. Like I was saying before you jumped on, the only real way to get worse at a skill is to not do it at all. You know, I tried to learn trombone back in the day. That's an interesting instrument, but it's not really a good fit for me. I like stuff precise, and trombone is like the loosest goosiest instrument out there. It's great. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I can't play it. So much wiggle room around it. Let's see. And too caught up in literal lines here. Just not quite working. This sort of comes up here. Like a swirly bob going around it. You know. Pretty sure that eye's in the wrong place. Ah, no, not the crazy over the top nose line. What would we ever do without crazy over the top nose line? That eye is too high up on the face. Give this another go. Guess let's actually do the whole eye indent thing. Very well. I'm never sure how much realism to try to fit into this style, but I think in this case it looks really awkward if I don't like do the actual thing your face does where it indents like this near the eye. That'd just be how faces work. Oh, now he looks angry. I want him to look. That's better. Oh, that's what's missing. Eyebrow. Duh. Keep going on that. A little bit of hair going on. Let's see. Face too tall. I think said at the start, I was kind of going for like a wider face for this guy, so let's try to actually do that. That's better, actually. Obviously, still got some issues, but we'll leave it like that for now, methinks. Okay. That back to where it belongs. Okay. So, this style is awkward, but it at the very least can render a recognizable face, which was not entirely true of the original style. Now, what I'm wondering is if it still would look out of place in the same world as the original style, because it's got too much detail now, which it might. Eesh, that's a long neck. Let's make it a little more reasonable. I say as I make it even narrower by accident. Oh well. Physics of this headpiece are kind of hard to figure out just from the way the image is cropped. Like, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, like, these don't look like they belong in the same world, but on the flip side, one of them is recognizably him, and the other is clearly not. Even if we add as much of the smolder as we can. Yeah, it's a real different. So it's something we'll have to keep. Well, I want to figure out the right balance. Wonder if maybe if I just do a small one here. Still stick to the more geometric of the original-ish style. Yeah, it's interesting. Still stick with this. Well, the face doesn't look good, but that's like best abstract of the hairpiece we've done yet. Main issue with the face though is that it's too narrow. Actually, somewhat solvable. Let's lighten some stuff a little bit. One little elf ear type thing that happened there, but it's not really what we need, per se. Okay. Oh, it lost the expression a little bit from just being so small. But it is kind of a middle ground between the two. Interesting. There's room to expand on this. Let's see. Okay, we're at the hour mark already. I will say this is a fun style to just sort of mess around with, which is what I was looking for. It's nice to have a style you can just doodle. Like, don't get me wrong, trying to do proper like anatomy and proportions and everything for the face is important, but like it's not fun for just doodling. um, let's see. Look at the craziness we whipped up during the warm-up. There's some fun stuff there, and then these ones are interesting. Yeah, it's like it's figuring out what to simplify and what to focus on. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna stop sharing this little window for a second and see if I can't find certain something. I think it might be fun. Oh, I realize I need to update the stream title for this too, but that'll work. Let's see if we can't do some characters from like Elden Ring or Dark Souls or something. They've got distinctive characteristics that might be fun. Who to do first? Seriously, who to do first? Those games have a significant number of NPCs. Oh, what's his name? No. Start with Melina. Melina's simple and straightforward and easy to find a face reference for. Granted, not a 3/4 view face reference, but like it's still useful. Flip southern there for a minute. Southern states, I mean. Oh, jeepers. You gotta be careful looking up any character online anymore. It's ridiculous what people draw. Here, let's... Promotional wallpaper. Okay, let me see if I can't pure ref this, because pure ref is easy to... Frankly, it's easier to share. Image is very big. Or if I can't get a side view, too. I promise I'll show you all this in just a minute. I'm sure it sounds like I'm just talking to myself. Let's see. Melina, where the heck did the window go? Is it like hiding underneath something? Should I drag it completely off screen so that I can't find it? That'd be awkward. I think I'm... Oh, no, here it is. Can't even find things on my own desktop. Ah, well, it just means I need to sort it better. Let's see. Well, that might do. That's, like concept art. I'll throw that in there too, and then I'll share this. We can work with both of these. Ellen is an interesting NPC. I won't spoil anything story-wise about her. But you do meet her pretty early on. Let's see. I'll make this a little smaller. Now I'll make this a little smaller. PureRef is a nifty little reference tool, but it's a little inconvenient at times. Its controls are just unintuitive. Like, it's great, but it's just got weird controls. But now let's see if I can't get this showing. Ah, okay. That'll do. We can make this a little bigger. This is Melina. Melina Elden Ring. Whoops. That, like I said, the controls are a little funky at times. But I can resize it to whatever I need real easily, so that's nice. Just down. Now it's a Melina Let's Play. I always forget that it does that. Well, it'll do. Let me actually update the stream information, because I think it still says some wild stuff. Yeah, Pepsiophobia is a great comic. I highly recommend it, but that's what we covered last stream, not this stream. Let's see. Hang out the new style Elden Ring art. Sure, that sounds correct. Elden Ring is probably a tag someone uses, right? Oh yeah, I'm sure it's getting crazy late where you are. Yeah, have a good one, Dado. Absolutely. Oh yeah, it's after. Yeah, if it's already this late here, then yeah, no, get to bed. But seriously, have a good one. Gotta watch that clock. Oh boy. Wonder if we can add emotes. Is that a thing I can do, or do we need a certain number of like subs to do that? That'd be fun to make emotes sometime. Anyway, that's gonna be a challenge for another night, because in the short term, I'm actually gonna go on a quick 5-minute break, use the restroom, get some water. I recommend anyone else dropping in do the same. It's I don't know, pretty good. It's pretty good. So I will be back in just a minute, and we will go from there. I will see y'all. Howdys and salutations, we are back. Sorry about that wait. Hope it's a little better now. Well, whatever you need to do, hope you got taken care of it anyway. Yeah, it's possible my brain still isn't really in presenter mode, but at least we've gotten some decent art. Let's see if we can't do Melina in this sort of style. And the challenge with the style is there's a million different ways to do this. Like, there's not like an objective one way to draw Melina this way. But that's what makes it interesting, and that's why it might also mean that we need to refine the style a little more, so that there's like actually a distinctive way to draw characters. And it's something to think about. Let's go ominous. Okay. I mean, the dark color isn't that ominous. It's still a fairly small pen stroke on a mostly white background, so like, not ominous really. Really and truly not that scary. But that's okay. Ah, man. Can't really go off the typical landmark, so I may have to do fairly normal-ish face. Maybe we lean into... No. We're ending up with like a different style where there's still a separate chin, but it's kind of... They all end up looking like this, which is funky. Still not exactly what we're going for. We want to be a little more abstract with this, so I'm thinking let's... It's definitely a tall and fairly steep nose, so let's lean into that. Melina's face in general is, well, it's not super tall, but it's not super wide either. That's a mouth, and this looks quite funny. Again, this is great for coming up with new characters and stuff, but it's not necessarily good at coming up with a full model that works at other angles. Or at, like, I don't know, drawing people who actually exist. Or even characters that have already been developed. And that's kind of a problem. Maybe we just get rid of both of those and do a fresh line rather than trying to connect the two that exist. There we go. Something more neutral. Always forget about that feature. You have the eraser, and then you hold down shift, you can erase a line. And it'll start wherever your mouse is currently. Or I guess where you last tapped. And you can just drag it wherever. Woo! Okay, that's enough of that. I think we're on the wrong track with this start. Let's... Yeah, something like that. These are getting real wild noses. Yeah, we may have to keep working on this nose style as far as actually representing real people, or I need to get better at being willing to abstract it further. I think it might be that latter one, actually. She's had a day, okay? Let's see. Okay. Okay, we'll just sort of... Again, that's not really how that would end up looking like over there. Okay. Taking too literal. This is the challenge with this style, is easy to get like a little too, like, well, not the challenge with the style. The challenge I have in doing any style is I get too caught up in trying to do a literal representation, and it doesn't always work well. Interesting, it's always the bottom of the ear that's visible. I guess it makes sense from the angle of hair. but not super sense with the style I do, so I'll have to think about that. Let's see, and then she's got Scarf for days. Well, anyway, then there's the cloak. Or if you want to keep the scarf going all the way down for the cloakless version. Either way, there's an actual like pattern to this seal, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, and the reference is a little small for it. Just a tad small. Let's see if I can remove hair outside of this, because we'll actually try to do the cloak. See how far that gets us. It's possible it's just kind of an off art day, or it's possible I need to think a little more about how we're dealing with the stuff. Because this is recognizably Melina, I'll say that. But, like, it's not super, like, the nose doesn't really fit. And given that that's the part we abstracted, if we abstracted it in a way that it doesn't work, well, it's not a very good abstraction, is it? So, something to think about. Like this more is like a line that slides around like that. Anyway. Okay. You can add a little more warble to the hair there. I like the word warble. It's a fun word. Not sure the hair warble here is working though. I think part of it was because of that flat bottom. So let's see if it works a little better now. That might be better. Yeah, okay, that's at least believably hair. Not good, but it's believably hair. You know what? That's step one. Okay, well, you know, it's a quick Melina. Let's see. Let's try this again, emphasizing, again, there's not so much stuff to emphasize with this style, so let's, and again, the angle's not super conducive to the way we've been doing it. But let's keep going. Let's try another one, you know? No harm in trying multiple. We could actually attempt a front view. I make no promises that that will go well, mind, but we can attempt it. I feel like I need to put more thought into my eye shapes. Like, there's so many eye shapes available, but I don't really know how to make good use of them. When to use what. Like, okay, obvious ones, more tilt outward looks, like, pitiful and sad for the most part, although changing expressions can vary that. More tilt inward looks angry. Although it can also look shocked, or, like, determined, or like you just did a terrible pun and you're very happy about it. That one looks downright sad. That one looks friendly or empathetic. They just look kind of confused. They look like they're mad, but also slightly perturbed by what they're seeing. But the point is, like, there's some basic stuff like that, but in terms of, like, actual eye shape, you can vary it a lot within a single style. I still want to, like, make good use of it. These look like Trickster Gremlin eyes. Um, Whereas, like, I am a fan of just, like, this type. Someone is done with the day. Actually, less detail here is probably even better for these types of pupils. Lean into it a little bit. Yeah. There's lots of ways to do stuff. Like, usually, underside is at the very least excited. Maybe cheering up. Someone's going to cause a problem today and they're happy about it. You can start with some basic stuff. There's this one. You can get a lot of mileage out of this. Someone looks strained. Anyway, again, simple basic shapes can go a long way for faces. But Melena's got, a very neutral expression in that cutscene, which I don't think is an accident. And trying to mimic these shapes based on the actual shape of the person's eye usually doesn't work because the shapes are really representing eyebrows a lot more than, like, we realize. Like, the tops of these eyes are being squished by eyebrows in reality a lot more, at least that's how our brains are perceiving it. Let's lean into this a little bit and see if we can't just make an abstract Melina face. Needs to be a little more of a curve, and then we got these two that just kind of go out. That's fine. Like, honestly, that's more recognizably Melina than this whole drawing. This drawing weirdly gives me vibes of the villain from Big Hero 6. Don't know why. But this, like, simple one is more Melina, which is crazy. So I think it means that I need to be a little more cautious with my expressions, for one thing. And also, like, I don't know. If I'm doing fan art, maybe we should stick away from the super cartoonized style. But I do still think the cartoonized style has a lot of options for coming up with new characters. And not just different geometric shapes. Although, I mean, you can get a lot of mileage just with that. You can get a lot of mileage just with the geometric shapes on this, can't you? You know, these might be good cartoon characters for just like quick little, like, if you're trying to make a punchline or a commentary or something, just real basic cartoony like that. So there's lots of potential there. Okay, so knowing some of that, let's, okay, hold on, let's relabel my layers, because what has happened here? Let's see, from human photo. Human photo 2. Melina, kinda. Melina face practice. Sure. Let's see. Okay, let's have another go at this. This time for going quite so much of the abstracty style. Much as I enjoy it, puts a lot of emphasis on the nose where there really doesn't need to be that emphasis on the nose right now. Let's see. Just kind of a determined look, so not too much bias in one direction or another. Maybe I need to make this one a little clearer that it's not open. Just mimicking the shape at all sort of implies openness, so maybe like an incomplete one? Even then, I think we might need color. No, and then we'll just keep the eyebrows very neutral. But like this is obviously not the right width for, got the angle all mixed up because I kind of did not 3/4 or proper like face on or anything. This is like a weird half angle view. The eye's in the wrong place. And it ends up with things looking very flat. Faces are tough, you know? They just require practice, and I ought to take like some actual course guidance or something on this, because I think, yeah, I think we'll get there from actual experimentation, sure, eventually. But sometimes actual guidance is sort of a, I hate to say a shortcut, because it's actually just good advice, like a thing you should use. But like, people have treaded these paths before, even if not exactly the same way. And like, I don't know, sometimes don't reinvent the wheel if someone's already kind of figured out how one works. Okay, let's stop meddling with that. Oh, jeepers. Oh, 1 second, y'all. Let me put this on pause. I'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, let us continue on here. This hairline's getting all kinds of wonky, because again, I'm trying to draw the hair like it's from the front view, even though it's not from the front view. Of course, that's not working. That's a challenge with references from different angles. Something I should really practice more, to be fair. Melona's hair isn't actually that long. That'll do. And then this side's going to be mostly obscured. That's not exactly how that should look, but it's intriguing enough that I'm going to stick with it. There we go. That's actually better anyway. Yeah, again, not really in the style per se, but recognizably Melina. Yeah, that's a balance we're gonna have to figure out. To make something recognizable versus keeping it on model versus doing your own thing and having fun with it. Let's think. I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of running low on ideas for today. We've got stuff for the rest of the week, don't you worry. And I've got plenty of stuff for November because, as we all know, November we are breaking into Blender. That's right, we're going 3D. Whole different world, whole different thought process. This month has been important technical stuff, but it's also a little dry, I realize. Stuff I gotta do, stuff I need to get in the practice of doing more. But maybe not all on stream. I do want to share some of it though, because I think these are worthwhile processes to learn from. But yeah, we won't do all of that today. We won't go crazy on it. Don't you worry. Yeah, and it's not going to be the only thing we stream going forward. We'll make sure we got challenges in Blender and interesting stuff. Depending on how it goes, we might lean into. I've sort of got two ideas for December. Either we lean into animation, which is super time intensive, but less time intensive if we're doing it on stream together. Sorry for that yawn. Or, alternate option, we go for stickers and we see if we can actually make and sell stickers and kick off like an Etsy or some such. What's the other one? It's also cool. Shopify, I believe. Or even Ko-Fi has something like that now. And Store Envy. Store Envy's cool too. There's a lot of them. So there's stuff to look at it. Maybe even a Kickstarter. They've got their Make 100s in January. Might be a fun thing. Because one of the other skills we need to learn here, important skill for an artist, and one that I'm not very good at, self-promotion. And also just networking. Like, I know networking has a bad name and all that jazz. And yes, going to like job fairs is dry. And if you're not familiar with networking, it feels like it's going to be something awful. But it's actually not that bad. It's really just a matter of like getting to know people in a field, or even outside of a field, just getting to know people. And sometimes an opportunity will fall your way. Networking, I mean, it doesn't guarantee anything, but like, I don't know, if you're nice to people, not like goading or anything, but just, friendly and congenial. That's a fun word. I like congenial. But if you're congenial and you, show that you're decently competent at just day-to-day routine stuff, you might eventually. I don't want to, I'm not here to give job advice, but like, seriously, that can get you a long way. Just being nice to people. You never know what doors that's going to open. Sometimes really weird ones. And sometimes none, unfortunately. That's just the way of things, but that's true of any path, really. But yeah. So I need to put myself out there, actually do stuff, be active on the interwebs, but dang it, I don't want to go on social medias. I hate them so much. I realize I say this on Twitch with like a Twitter account and a bunch of other junk, but like, man, they're so bad. They're just such a pain to work with. So let's keep iterating on this then. I think that I've let my brain sort of decompress. If we're doing Pomodoro, you're supposed to take 5 every half hour or so. That'll be our little tangent. Elena V2. Let's go until there's 15 minutes left and then see about adding some color to one of these. So Melina V3. I may keep V2 in mind. Actually I like how V2 turned out. I don't think it's quite in the style though, so let's see if we can't lean in a little more. I've noticed, and now that I've done it like this, I'm realizing, even in the original, Melina's definitely kind of angular-y face. And that may just be an Elden Ring-y thing, but I think maybe that's what we lean into. Just kind of lean back a little bit, and circle up. This back part, I never get the back part of the chin line right on the first go, like ever. Just, it's relative to things that aren't in place yet, and I never get those things, I never guess where they belong well. Okay. Especially because it tends to end up defining a lot of angle earlier than I really want to, because I kind of prefer the eyes to define the angle. At least with this particular one, because the eyes really are a definitive part of Melina. Especially if you get certain endings, which I didn't get, but saw online. I do like this sort of, as a neutral eye, I kind of like having even the sharp eye shape in the design. I think it works with her. Wasn't entirely intentional, I just was trying to draw eyes that fit her design, and like, yeah, sharp eye. It makes sense that if it's fitting with the rest of her design also being sharp. But like, it's also just, It looks good, I think. At least meiner Meinung nach, it looks good, in my opinion. Lean into actually rounding this out a little more. There we go. I do like big eyebrows in my style, I'll say that much. This still isn't that big, but like I do like making sure that they're present and prominent. Let's see if we can't learn from our hair mistakes of the past. Alright, having it sort of bump out around the eye, A, kind of with the design, B, actually a nice trick to make the eye visible. I do like that. Actually, this is also not a bad time to experiment with how do we show this in slightly more 3D view. If the person is, obviously this is wrong. Like I should make it clear that what I'm doing right now is wrong. And there may not be a right way with this style. That's something to think about. Is this sort of partial view may just be more than this style can do. Unless we only really keep that view the upper part of the face, in which case it's sort of doable as long as I'm kind of creative with it. I really want this to just be like kind of the edge, and we know that there's more hair wrapping around behind. I don't want to make it too thick. Melina V2 actually lucked into some decent design stuff. Or I can claim it was one of those like instinct things, but like, I don't know, instinct comes from practice. So even then, like, just practice. And not all instinct comes from practice, but like, come on, a lot of instinct comes from practice. Like that's where that comes from. Those gut feelings. They're when you're starting to get the hang of things. At least in my, some of them I feel like it's like practice from ancestors like long time back, and it's like, oh, we have a gut instinct that random berries on the bush might be dangerous. That's a little different. Oh, that's no wonder that's not the shoulder, that's the hair. Well, not the correct sigil for that, but whatever. Not like a brooch thing. Might as well make it like this interesting angular one. Kind of get shape going here. Sort of go down like that. That's fine. I always end up making it look like my characters are leaning too far back because the neck has like a really extreme slant, and then it ends up translating into the clothing. Gotta be a little more wary of that. Okay, this song just does this, because I was about to ask, did we just get the same song twice in a row? And then I think I remember asking the same question about this same song before. I think the answer is no. Or maybe we did. Let's see. I'm actually gonna check. Nope. Yeah, see, we're more than halfway through it. Nah, song just does that. Little. Come on, give me a line that kind of works, please. Thank you. That's, come on, it's the arm line. Arm line. That'll do. I still think this one's more Melina, but this is definitely more also in the style. Although I totally botched the hair. Let me, not totally botched, but it's a little off. Let's tweak. No, I don't want to cut the entire layer, but thank you for offering. I do want to figure out what that hotkey is so I can stop accidentally hitting it. A little warpy, but that's okay. I guess I have to actually draw the rest of this now. Huh. Kinda wish I hadn't done that. Oh well. What should be visible, then it's what should be visible, you know? Just sort of gotta run with it. Make it look like this actually tucks in here a little bit. The hair is still at the wrong angle relative to the face. I think that's what it is. Then it makes all the silhouette of it look off too. Let's give this another go. This isn't really a straight on view. It's not quite as like three quarters, maybe even like generous for the amount of some of the other ones that I've done in this style, but like keep on tweaking. Oh wait, that's actually like a reference. Not that kind. I think that's probably obvious at this point, but not that kind. And we'll let that just keep on going. The hair's still not quite at the same height, but it does look believably like it's A in the wind and B in this style. That is plausibly Melina. I like that. The clothing section could use some work, obviously, but like, you know, yes, it's not quite as Melina as this one, but I do think it's actually like kind of a hybrid of if we were doing something in the style of the other world, this would fit in it, and that's kind of neat. Because that's been we've sort of had two challenges in doing this. One is obviously making it represent who it is we're drawing. And the other is making it still fit. If we were drawing a bunch of characters in this style, they need to actually kind of go together, you know? Let's lean into the neck a little more because that's just something this style does. I say this style as though I'm like not the one inventing it like actively. Like I can change the rules of it. That is within my power. Yeah, this was never working well anyway. So let that go. Doop-a-doop-a-bye. Fruity thing. And then, like, we'll even let this one sort of sag over the shoulder. Maybe we ignore the brooch for now. Maybe we just make it like a dot. We abstract it. That's fine. There we go. Let these actually lead into each other a little bit more. Close it up a little bit. Help guide the eye. Add. Okay. That one in. And we'll do a little bit of vector line connector and vector connector. Like a robot thing. Vector connector. I do it with the hair a little too. Better or for worse. Little ones like this is really where this tends to work better. Ones like that, not so much. Corner, sure. That, yeah. This, sure. This, yeah. Yeah, these two. That one even. I don't know. This. That I should just erase. Okay. Okay, and we'll do a little bit of simplifying. Clean up where the vector connector looks a little weird. The downside with the vector connector tool is that it tends to leave a whole lot of those vector control points. Like if you grab this, you can see there's like weird clusters of them. There's a square where the intersection used to be. This one's got the same thing. Those squares are like for tapers. So like that's not helpful. Let me do this. We've got a line. Um, actually, let's start with this one. We can drag this way out, and you can see like obviously this particular tool doesn't have a lot of taper, but you can see that this little bit is like eventually tapering off. It's much clearer with other pens. Like let's throw a G pen in here. Got these, and then this one really tapers. It's also just the end point, but like a lot of the times it's the most extreme taper point too, which I guess makes sense. I'm not actually sure if that's specifically taper or it's just endpoint, but I believe it's, taper. Let's back to our Mila pen. I know. As if I connect it, then it looks like a crazy nose is over here, and like that's where the face top is happening, and I don't want that. This ain't quite Picasso. Kind of leaving this open-ended. It's not a perfect fix for this style. It's very much a kind of jerry-rigged fix. For this angle, it's something to think about. It's not like I can easily taper out and back in, and it looks like we've either got two noses or a super wide nose. That's still the problem is it puts the center of the face way over here. And it's also not really easy to taper out. A, center of the face is still in the wrong place. And B, this looks like the start of a robot. Could, of course, attempt to taper in the middle. But that still gives us this weird, like, it's way blockier than I'm really going for. So I guess we could do that for the nose and the other style. Not that this is really adhering to the other style anymore. That just kind of looks like a mustache now. I don't know who this kid is. Anyway, not really relevant. What is relevant, trying to figure out if I need to do something like that, which might be a better fix as opposed to like bringing the nose point up, getting the cheek going in there. Might be the better solution. Although I kind of like having that line there imply something. This isn't going to be an easy one to color if we choose to. Nothing on that one, okay. Let me clip it. No, not clip it, but it'll point, it'll be fine. But like then, okay, wow, I'm amazed that fill stayed within the lines. Okay, not that one, but this, and I don't know. That worked, definitely, as intended, and not horribly, horribly wrong. Whoops, nope. Kind of turns into an eye up here. I see you. Okay. Yeah, I guess the autofill won't get us as far with this particular style, but that's fine, really. Almost the cloak is really beige. This color palette is workable, but it's not exactly a Melina color palette. It's not gonna super work either. Even if we did the background in the orange. Pretty jarring. Although intriguing in its own way. I think this is more of a flesh tone, really. Okay. Real way to color that would be the inverse. Whatever. Okay. Can probably use a slightly larger brush for this, most of this anyway. Didn't we add a line up here? Yeah, we did. Okay, so let's just color up to that and no further. Still gonna be jarring, but not so terrible. And yes, I know I colored in the eyebrow. Whoa, the eyebrow wrong. But that's because I know I'm gonna be coming back up here anyway with something, and I'd probably ruin it again. So let's just take our time, do this. Figure we ought to color this A because sometimes color does add a little more life to these drawings. B, because sometimes it also reveals where there's like major flaws. There's like, oh, I didn't think about that as a shape, and as soon as I tried to color it in, it's like, ruh-roh. But also C, good for the thumbnails, eh? Gotta get those posted. These do go up on YouTube so far, basically always, in fact, I think so far always, the same day that they're recorded. We get those up into the stream archive real fast. Let's see. If you ever miss a bit, like, don't worry. A, we do keep them on Twitch for however long Twitch allows that. I don't really know how long it keeps them, like a month, 2 weeks? Honest to goodness, no idea. Not really our prime stream archive. I guess in the sense of Amazon Prime, it is literally the prime stream archive. But like that's not exactly the same thing. That would be a good shade color for the cloak. That's not really what we're looking for. Heck yeah, I thought we'd reach the end of the song, but it's gonna keep going. Ah, immediately disappointed. Instantaneous regret and sadness. Wowzers. Okay, so immediately... Yeah, and I do kind of want the eye to be more like that. I think that's more correct, for lack of a better word. Okay, this eyebrow really should be the edge of the face. The tattoo does kind of extend a little far out. That's fine. Come on. A little more. There's the brow. Kind of in and back out. Of course, that does change the angle of the face a little bit from the original drawing. Gotta think about that one. And I think I almost wrapped early because I was out of ideas. This obviously isn't a brilliant drawing, but it is a good proof that this style can work on existing characters, which is something that I was a little worried about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, that's something. I do kind of like the new border that we've sort of carved out using the colors instead of the lines. I think it's reasonable enough as part of the style. I'm realizing we didn't change all that much from the last one other than making her face taller, skinnier, and like sharper chin. Oh, the nose format, that's important. Fill colors are going to work even worse on this one. It's super loosey-goosey. Then this guy exists for reasons beyond my fathoming. We'll just sort of make him part of the background, make it clear that he's not main focal point. Okay. See how far we can get before it bites us. Here's where it bites us. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna try to do a real quick color of this one too. Because I like it. I think it's like decent Melina just looking. Decent Melina looking art. And I do think this is shadow color here. Hear what's going on there. We add like a little more shadow down here. Then I just need to do some quick gap patches. And maybe the most important one down here. And we gotten a lot of Deltarune music this time. Maybe we always do. It's always nice to hear. I like Deltarune. Fun little game. Oh, I guess. That ought to really be like that, oughtn't it? Sort of same issue as the other one. I didn't really account for shadow on this part. That's worth noting for future sketches, I suppose. Easy step to forget, but an important one. That's not gonna work. Not as bad as it coulda. What did I just do? Oh! Oh, I pulled them both out. You go there. No, I think no, I really just want these stacked, don't I? Like having access to everything. Probably the wrong approach, but it works for me, so it can't be that wrong. Maybe I'll change it later, but for now, all good. Let's see, we won't go too long on this one. I may not feel tired. Well, I do feel a little tired, to be fair. But I do think it'd be time for me going to bed soon. And potentially for many of y'all watching, although I don't know what time zone you live in, and in any case, I'm not your parent. So, to some extent, that is up to you. Okay, I'll clean up the one eye. Maybe it's because I spent more time on it, but I actually think that the other one colored in better than this one did, which is interesting. I really thought this one was going to be the better one for color. That's not quite been the case. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe it's because we got a lot more of the underhair contrast on that side. I don't know. Maybe I've leaned into it too much on this side. I mean, we got the line there for it. Or pause it there, maybe it doesn't even reach the nose. Who knows? Certainly not the nose. Like this bump out of contrast a little more by being out more. Okay. There we go. Now it looks like actually intentional. Okay, that's more than enough of that, methinks. Sorry for a lowish energy stream. I'm still trying to get myself resituated after a hectic month. But hopefully we'll be good to go pretty soon. Until then, you can always check out the VOD on YouTube or catch my next streams live on Tuesday or Thursday. I will say, I don't really plan to be streaming on Halloween. It might happen, we'll see. But I am going to try to take that as a proper day off of sorts. But if we do stream, we'll make sure we find something fun and spooky to do, because that's a special day, It's silly and it's fun. Until then, I hope I will see y'all tomorrow, Thursday, maybe next Monday, or at some point in the future, whenever it works for y'all. Or if you never catch me live, that's okay too. I hope you're enjoying the VOD archive. Other than that, I will let y'all get back to your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day or night it happens to be where you are. Have a good one.